dismiss history at our peril.
Liberty Nation Radio with Mark Angelides.
And you're back on Liberty Nation Radio. We're continuing our conversation with long-term host of this radio show, Tim Donner. So, Tim, just before the break, we were talking about how Hunter Biden appears to be torching the Democratic Party in some kind of parental loyalty, kamikaze sweep through the media. But it seems to me that the Democratic Party is probably doing a fair job of torching itself at the moment. Yeah. And they need to find a reason for people to elect them. And they don't seem to have that at the moment.
Clearly. They have, they've tried really to convince themselves that it was only because of Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. The messaging wasn't good.
Sorry, Tim. It's my theory here, and I might have this wrong, of course. It's my theory that their messaging was actually perfect for the message they wanted to send. It's just that the message, people didn't like what they were saying. It's not that the messaging wasn't good. They had a great messaging machine.
See, this is what they were.
This wasn't a good message.
They believe that, the Kamala Harris campaign ultimately didn't effectively convey the winning message that they had all along. So they're still in the stage, the 5 stages of grief. They're still largely in denial, and if they weren't, they would stop attacking Donald Trump irrationally. Attack him on policies you disagree with. But to take something like this strike in Iran against its nuclear facilities and try to minimize it and say, well, it only set it back a few months. Trump is lying by saying the whole thing is destroyed. That's exactly the kind of thing that got them in trouble to begin with. You cannot be a party that only stands against things. You had to be in favor of a couple of things here or there, other than
at least one
transgender rights and boys and girls sports and diversity, equity, and inclusion. Those things don't count. Americans don't want that. They made it clear, but the Democrats refuse to get the message or refuse to consolidate the message. It's like, James Carville said it in his latest
tweet. This is not James Carville. He's had a tough week with Hunter Biden saying, Jimmy Carville, he hasn't anything in 40 years.
But Carville said it right. And he should know because he had a guy who did this in 1992 named Bill Clinton. He said, there needs to be a person that comes along and stands to redefine the Democratic Party. Bill Clinton took them from left-wing Michael Dukakis, who was a laughing stock, took them to the center with a message that appealed to blue-collar Americans, right? And, Biden couldn't do that. Kamala Harris couldn't do it. What Carville recognizes is that there has to be somebody, whether it's Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, or Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, or whether it's Gretchen Whitmer, the senator from Michigan, somebody who can take hold of the party and bring them towards the center. It's not going to happen institutionally, Mark, because institutionally they're so progressive. They're so baked into this left-wing vision of the country that it's not going to change institutionally. It's got to be an individual who drags them where they need to go.
Kicking and screaming. Some might say.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah, it's almost as I'm reminded of 2015, 2016, because that's pretty much what happened to the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Donald Trump comes along and he exposes them to their face. And anybody who's watched those debate performances, those primary debate performances, where he's calling out legacy after legacy and dragging through the mud.
On both sides of the aisle.
Yeah. And he reshaped what it was to be a Republican voter. And it seems to me that until the Democrats get somebody who is willing to shake up and burn their own party down and recreate it in their image, which may or may not be a good thing, then they're going to be stuck, as you said, is stuck in the third stage of grief, the denial one. And anyway, Tim Donner, I really appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, Mark. Thanks.
And that's all we have time for on this week's edition of Liberty Nation Radio, heard coast to coast on the Radio America Network. I've been your host, Mark Angelides. I'd like to take a moment to thank our special guest for today, longtime host of this here radio show and Liberty Nation's senior political analyst, Mr. Tim Donner. And of course, thank you, the listeners, for taking the time each and every week to tune in and join us on the show. Please do remember, Liberty Nation does not endorse candidates, campaigns, or legislation, and this presentation is no endorsement.
We dismiss history at our peril.
Liberty Nation Radio with Mark Angelides.